I'm Black Cyborg, joined once again by Temp, our username, and now we're going to continue our Injustice series, doing the whole series, every issue, every day. This day, we're doing part 2, so issue 2 of the comic, and let's jump into it. Right off the bat, on page 2, we're basically following up with how the first issue left off, with Superman obviously killing Lois and blowing up Metropolis accidentally and all that fun, good stuff. Wonderful, heartwarming, good stuff. So I liked on page 2 Joker's line about beating the puppy to death with a kitten. It's just such a cruel line. Like, it's so awful. It's just disgusting. It's just awful. It's an awful, awful, evil thing to do. But I like how he says it at the beginning of, like, that's what he did. And then I like how he brings it back on the same page at the end of the page, where he says, "As easy as beating up a puppy beating a puppy to death with a kitten."
Another full circle moment.
Yeah, it was disgusting, awful, horrendous. But I mean, that's the Joker. That's what we come to expect. But I mean, you got to kind of have that in there because he just takes it. He just doesn't care, and I don't know. It's very Jokery. So I appreciated that.
Yeah, as did I. I thought it was good. I really like. I don't know if we go into the highlights or not, but I just really like the explanation the Joker provides.
Sure.
Just it's just Batman. He was tired of losing. He wanted to do something that was a little easier.
Right.
And when he says, "And it was easy,"
yeah,
you kind of have to agree with him, to be honest.
Yeah,
it was really easy.
Yeah, he definitely he played his cards right and really just made Superman look like a fool. His first attempt to foil Superman, he just had him hook, line, and sinker, and it cost millions of lives, as well as set Superman down this path. So yeah, it is pretty impressive. Joker pulled this off. All right, let's jump to page 7. I love the moment where Green Lantern's trying to stop Superman in the sky, and he creates, like a construct or a light construct bubble to keep Superman in. Superman breaks through, and then he's like, "What are you going to stop me with? That little thing on your finger?" And all of a sudden, it just pans to Superman holding the ring in his hand as Green Lantern. Like, he's just holding it right in front of him for Green Lantern to look at it. That's just such a dick move, but it's so great. And Green Lantern just plummets, and of course Superman does catch him at the very last second, sets him down, but he keeps the ring. So, and then he stops him from alerting Batman that Superman's on his way. I thought that was a great moment. Just another great interaction between the characters. I mean, you talk about like the Marvel movies and the Avengers movies, how great the character interactions are between those characters. You're getting a lot of that in the comics thus far with Injustice. Since we've started, obviously we're only on issue 2, but we're getting a lot of those great interactions between these characters. Very strong. Thoughts?
I mean, not really a whole lot to say. I feel like whenever there's any sort of Justice League gathering, Green Lantern kind of gets the shit end, and that's not really any different here, to be honest with you. That's pretty much
especially in the Lego movie. Oddly enough, they treated him like Aquaman. Like, I don't. It was so odd.
I've never seen that movie. I've always wanted to see it.
It is good. It's worth a watch.
I've heard
but they
great things.
Yeah, they basically treat Green Lantern as like the one nobody wants anything to do with, like the lame duck of the group. It was really odd. But anyways, keep it on track. We'll go to page 10. I need to move my notes again. I keep looking over here when I should be looking over here. Okay, on page 10, this is where we have Superman rushes in, busts through the wall. Batman, this whole time, is trying to convince the Joker, you know what? You're not going to beat Clark. I know Clark. He's stronger than that. He's going to, you may cause him to grieve, but he's going to get through this. You aren't going to win. And then Joker is adamant that he is not so fast, my friend. I think I got him. And of course, he said it's going to be fun. And Superman busts through the wall and just immediately, without hesitation, there is no discussion. There is no like, oh, I'm going to kill the Joker. And Batman's like, no, don't do that. And then they like hash it out. No, just immediate bust through the wall. Grabs him, shoves his hand right up through his chest, and Joker's just laughing maniacally because he won. I love that Joker is enjoying it so much because he finally did win, and that's completely 100% Joker to have him laughing throughout his death because that's all he wanted to do is break somebody, and he broke Superman for sure.
On paper, I like this better, but I think it happened differently in the game, did it not? I thought there was some dialogue between Clark and the Joker in the actual Injustice
Uh,
story mode intro. Was I wrong about
there
that?
might have been. I can't remember. It's been so long, but yeah, I know they do handle it a little bit differently between game and comic.
And that was pretty good. I mean, this is better on paper. I like the idea of Clark just not even messing around, just going straight to the point. Very well
Sure.
done. But I do dislike that dissonance though. I wish they were the same.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I like the idea of if you're going to say the canon or the comic is canon, have it match up with the game and vice versa. It's just it keeps everything simpler. It establishes this is what happens. When you have things that differ, then you just it kind of blows all that out of the water, which is unfortunate because yeah, you kind of want everything to be streamlined and be everything in cohesion with everything else. But yeah, um,
Batman's face, though, by the way.
yeah, no, that's like a meme face right there. That is definitely a meme face of his, like, oh, it's just like pure shock. Like, I just made a face that I'm sure will be used in plenty of silly images, but either way, it's just ridiculous.
It's
Um,
good.
good stuff. Moving on. Now we kind of cut away from that, which I did like how they just ended on that like powerful, they ended with a punch, you could say.
I see what you did
It's
there.
very punctual. Okay, we'll get we'll get past that. Um, Now we cut to Harley. She's in a police car. Basically, finds out that the Joker's dead. So she's trying to escape. She does, of course, and then she gets. I do like one of her quotes here. I made note of it. It's I. It's like the whole world has forgotten how to smile. What an awesome quote! Not just because I like that quote in general, and it's such a Harley quote, but I like that quote given the events that had just transpired. I love that quote because everyone's mourning, everyone's pissed off, angry, upset, millions just died. And she just said, it's like everyone forgot how to smile. Like, just wonderful.
That's
Harley's,
funny. I didn't think of it like that. Like, I completely forgot that everyone's sad because the city exploded.
yeah.
So I thought she was saying that because the Joker was dead, but what you said makes a lot more sense.
So yeah,
I never
it's
really
just
connected
it's
the
great.
wires.
It's just her delusion is just fantastic. I mean, that's a big fun aspect of the character. It's just how the mental gymnastics that are taking place in her mind. But it's good stuff. And Harley is a shining point of this issue, in my opinion, because we're going to get into a lot of that going forward now. On page 14 through 19, this is just gold. Her interactions with Green Arrow, because he commandeers her basically and is going to keep her safe and away from Superman to both protect her, but also even more so to protect Superman from further doing things that he might regret down the road. So he's protecting her. He's taking her to the Arrow Cave, as he calls it, and I have some notes here on some of the great interactions that she has with him. Because there's a lot of good stuff. She goes to hit him with and ends up being a squeaky giant oversized mallet, and she didn't know it was the squeaky one, so she instantly was like, oh, I thought that was going to be the one that smushes your head all over the floor, but apparently that's a squeaky mallet. So then she pulls out a gun and tries to shoot him, but he shoots an arrow right into the barrel because it's Green Arrow and he's awesome. Right into the gun barrel he shoots the arrow, and it just like messes up the bullet or whatever. She just instantly reacts with no way. She's not even mad that he just foiled her. She's just amazed. It's like, the dog ate the whole cheese wheel. I'm not upset. I'm not even mad. I'm just amazed. And that's what her reaction was. And she wasn't just amazed. She wanted him to do it again. She was so amazed by this. She's like, do it again, do it again. So then she gets ready to do it again. She gets all happy because she sees he's, getting another arrow ready to go, and it ends up being a net arrow and captures her. And she just said, "You suck." Like that's good stuff. And then they're in the car, the arrow car or whatever the hell it's called. I don't know, the Aeromobile. And then she's questioning him about his boxing glove arrow, and that's great stuff because she goes, why do you have a boxing glove arrow? What do you need that for? Well, sometimes I need to punch somebody that's very far away. And she
I
says,
love that. Yeah, I actually wrote that down. It was so funny. I
yeah.
put
And
that
then
in my notes.
her response is just, arg, I know that feeling or whatever. I don't know the exact quote, but she can relate to that because she's crazy, obviously, but that's good stuff. The other part was, as I mentioned before, she actually suggests why is it called the Arrow Cave? Because I mean, yeah, the Bat Cave makes sense because bats live in caves, but arrows don't live in caves, and they're also not living things. So why don't you call it like the Quiver? And he's like pointing his finger at her, like ready to say something to like put her in her place and just get her to shut up. And as she says, you should call it the Quiver, he's like, that is actually better. And I like that he,
It's a lot better
it
actually.
is, it is. I like that he can admit that. Like, that's just the interaction between these two is good stuff. It ends in a he's like, make sure you don't try to escape. Make sure you don't try to do any like fake hand thing. She says, no, that's the Joker's gag. I actually just have a fake mustache. And then he goes, why do you have that? And she goes, well, nobody should have to justify a fake mustache. And that's just another great line, like between these two. And then it ends with her just wanting him to maniacally laugh just so she feels more comfortable, like it's the Joker. And they have a little touching moment about, relationship abuse and how the whole mental thing goes into that, which is very, very cool that they acknowledge that. But anyways, she wants him to maniacally laugh. He tells her no, but then she kind of like says please, and he looks at her, and she has the fake mustache on, and it causes him to start busting out in laughter. So that was another little fun little scene there. Um, that pretty much covers it. The main points that I really wanted to cover in this comic, just to wrap things up before we give like final thoughts and get your thoughts on a lot of this. Just to cover the part of it, last chapter of the comic. It ends with Superman taking. He basically goes to a foreign country. I don't remember the name, but there's a lot of violence going on in the
Is it like
country,
Bazalia or
something like that, Biolia or something like that. Anyways, he basically goes, takes the leader, just goes right up to the leader. Everyone's trying to take him down. Of course, he can't. He takes the leader, protects the kid or whatever. Takes the leader, takes him, strips him down in front of everyone, embarrasses him. Wonder Woman talks him out of doing whatever he's going to do right then. Wants him to clean up a bit. He takes him all the way to the United Nations. Once he gets cleaned up, takes the leader there, and he basically, all the news is covering it, and he threatens that end the violence right now, or I'll come after you. So put an end to it. So either you can stop nicely, or I will stop it for you, not nicely. And he's not dealing with this anymore. He's taking a stand. He's gonna do, forcefully stop people from doing that kind of crap anymore. And Wonder Woman's in full support of this. She even makes a line. She even says a line that basically says this is what she wanted him to do from the start: is, you know, exert dominance and put an end to all of this because he is Superman. So this is no time to be a pacifist. So she's all for Superman just putting his foot down. Your thoughts, sir?
I don't know. I mean, it's so early, so I can't be critical of that. I would like them to go into that a bit more, because I like Wonder Woman enough to think that that mentality is a bit naive. Like
Yeah,
that could be problematic. But I mean, going back to just the Harley Quinn and Arrow stuff, that was brilliant. I loved that.
absolutely.
Um, the whole story is very cinematic. So you really do feel like you're going beat for beat, scene for scene. It feels very much like a movie.
Right.
It's incredibly readable. Now, I've read a lot of comics since we started doing the Nethercast, and not all comics are this readable. Trust me. So,
Yeah, definitely.
really good stuff.
It's fun. That's what you can say about it. It's not hard to read, like you said. It's a very easy read. It's fun to read. So far, I mean, I don't know how it goes. Neither of us do. How it pans out, if it maintains that quality. I guess we'll find out in time. But right now, it's fun to read. I don't feel like it's a chore. It's not boring. It isn't tedious. You're not feeling like, oh, this page is a waste. This page is waste. I mean, not everything is a hit. Every page is a hit, but even the pages that aren't are quick. Like that, you breeze right through them. They're just a couple pictures, not a whole lot. It's not overly wordy, and yeah, it just gets those main beats across. And it's so far, it's a lot of fun. That's to cap up to recap this thing. This issue number 2, is it was just a lot of fun. The Harley moments were great. You started off with the seriousness, even though you had some of those fun moments like with Green Lantern's ring. But overall, the Harley Green Arrow interactions were tremendous, and that made the issue for me.
Look at the drawing.
Yep.
The drawing is very good. Go back to page 7. Just Superman's cape in both the central panel and when
Yeah,
he's doing like the speed trail. It looks so good.
it does. Yes, I agree, 100%.
The artist is very good at leaving open space so you can kind of frame the aspects that look really good.
Right.
One thing I like about Darkest Night is there was so much bullshit on the panel. So it
Yeah.
was really hard to keep up with what was
Yeah.
going on. This is so clean. Everything looks like a portrait to me. It's so beautiful.
All right. Well, that pretty much wraps up our thoughts on this issue. So check out issue 2 if you haven't already. Subscribe if you want to keep following our videos. We're going to be doing one of these per day. So next time we'll be doing issue 3 of the entire series. I believe it's 5 years worth of Injustice comics. So we're going to be keep doing those. So stay tuned, guys. Like the video if you enjoyed what we're doing, and we'll see you next time with issue 3.
Later.